Good morning. It is good to see you all and a joy and a blessing to be with you. Welcome to Unity Phoenix. My name is Richard Maraj, and I am the senior minister here. You know, some people ask, what is Unity? And here's what it is. Unity is a church of positive, practical, progressive Christianity, and it is based on the spiritual teachings and the spiritual laws as demonstrated by Jesus. Here we absolutely believe that we do not teach original sin, but we teach the original blessing. That being that we are all children of God. We are all created in the image and likeness of God, and we are here to live life and live it more abundantly. And it's through the power of our words, thoughts, and actions that we can bring forth the glory of God and experience the kingdom of heaven right here and now. And it all centers around the two greatest commandments, which are to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love others as ourselves. And that is unity.
All right. Fabulous. So let's celebrate that by taking our mission statement together.
Unity of Phoenix is a loving spiritual community that welcomes all people and honors all paths to God. We are dedicated to transforming lives by inspiring and awakening individuals to discover God's Spirit within them.
And now if you will stand and join us in our opening song.
I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Oh, oh. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me.
All right. So while you're still standing, why don't you turn to someone to your right or to your left and say good morning. Give them a handshake. Or
Right now, we'd like to extend a very special welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. If you're here for the first time, would you stand up so we could love you up and just recognize you? First timers, stand up. Don't be afraid. Let's see where. Oh, there we go. Let's stay standing. Hey, how are you? Hey, great seeing you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So all of our first timers, just stay standing until our usher gets to you. But it is so great to see you. We're so glad you blessed us with your presence today. And why not? We may not know your name. We know something about you, and that is that you are an amazing and unique expression of God, that God's light shines in you. And we hope today's service helps you remember that great light and leaves you here shining with even brighter than when you came. So let's hear it for our first-time guests. We'd love to meet you after service. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. And so today is the first Sunday in June, and that means it's... So if you are celebrating a birthday in the month of June, stand up, let's love you up, and we want to sing you happy birthday. Here we go, first timers. Hey, June. Here we go. It's your birthday. Oh, you got birthdays. Happy birthday, everyone.
yeah. We also celebrate anniversaries. So if you have an anniversary of a significant event in the month of June, we want to encourage you to stand as well. June anniversaries. All right. So let's take our anniversary blessing together. We love you.
We love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
And we behold the Spirit of God in you.
And we behold the Spirit of God in you.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, everybody. So besides birthdays and anniversaries, and actually just want to point out a couple of things. It's Reverend Richard Rogers' birthday today. So happy birthday today. And Herb and Marge.
And Marge and Herb.
And Marge and Herb are going to be selling their 61st anniversary. 61. Yeah. You did 61?
65.
65? Yeah. Wow. That, even more applause for them, please. 65. Wow. So besides birthdays and anniversaries, today we're also celebrating the graduation of 3 of our young kids. So come on up, guys. Okay. So these 3 beloved souls are not only graduating today, but they actually met here in grade 2 Sunday school together, been friends ever since, and been supporting each other all the way through this incredible ride. Isn't that incredible? Woo! So it's a very, very special graduation. So the first person we're going to honor is Haley Araza. And Haley, upon graduation, will be attending Pace University in New York, studying psychology. And with a desire to work with children. And the way she got inspired to want to work with kids is through her volunteer work here as a teen counselor for 7 peace camps, working with the little kids, and 3 Uniteen camps and kids overnight camps. And some of the things that they'll be missing about her is her sense of humor and her openness. And her legacy that she wants to leave to the younger kids is to remind them to give back to Unity as much as you can and as often you can for all that Unity has given her. She wants other kids to do that. Yay! Isn't that cool? Woo-hoo. So, Haley, here's a certificate of graduation acknowledging your great accomplishment. Here is a Bible for you. All right.
Thank you.
And a hug from me. All right. So congratulations. And now we've got Kiana Maddie. And Kiana will be attending university at Northern Arizona, which is in Flagstaff, and she'll be studying social work with a desire to work with families who are not as fortunate in terms of having a wonderful community of support like Unity and the wonderful mom that she has had. And she has done a lot of volunteer work herself, and she is known for her simple grace and her caring heart. And the legacy she wants to leave is to let kids know that you can be a quiet leader. You don't have to be loud. A quiet leader is very effective when leading with a loving heart, and they provide a level of support and service to others. So congratulations, Kiana Maddie. All right.
Blessings, Kiana.
Congratulations. Really good stuff. All right. And this is Owen Craig, and he will be attending college at Arizona State. In Tempe, he will be studying exercise and wellness. He has done a lot of volunteering. He too was a teen counselor, and he has been dressed up as a princess more times than he cares to remember. But taking it for the kids, taking it for the team, we love that. He is known for his gentle spirit and his good nature. And the legacy he wants to leave other kids is to remind them to stay involved. Stay involved, because it's through staying involved that you make great connections, and through staying involved, you develop lasting friendships and relationships. So congratulations, Owen. Keep up the good work. Thank you. All right, a big hug from you, big guy. So, gang, we just want to say that we congratulate you on your graduation, and we welcome you from our teen program into our adult community. And we just want to say that we know, with the wonderful groundedness of spirituality that you have learned, that whatever you do and all things that you do when you head out into the world will be absolutely blessed, and you will do great and wonderful things, and you'll be a great blessing to our world. So congratulations, and thank you guys for the great work you've done. Let's hear it for our kids. Woo! Woo! Drink it all in, guys. Woo! All right, thank you. And the kids will be out in the foyer with me at the end of service for you to love them up and congratulate them a little bit more.
And now's that time in our service for a time of prayer and meditation. So if you have your cell phones with you, I want to encourage you to either place those on silence or vibrate. And Christian will lead us in our meditational song.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Just allow those words to be a gentle mantra to just kind of gently let you move into a space of quietness, into a time of openness and receptivity to that divine spirit that is not only within you, but is always and all around you. So as we begin, I invite you to take a deep, refreshing breath and to get comfortable in your seat. Relax your body, release and let go of any tightness or any tension. Just take note of your breathing and allow it to be natural and deep. The breath is not only a cleansing process, but it is also a great relaxer. Bringing us life-giving air and reminding us that the Spirit and power and presence of God is not only within us, but all around us. And through that presence and power, we are healed. And we are transformed. We are made whole. And we are made new. And the most amazing thing about the process is that it requires so little effort on our part. So once again, I encourage you to just relax. To be still. And to be quiet. In a consciousness of God's love, we pray not just for ourselves, but for all people everywhere. And we do this in the name and through the nature of the living Christ. And we proclaim it done by simply saying amen. And so it is.
deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory
Good morning again, everyone. And a shout out and a welcome to everybody who tunes in and watches us online. So today, we're going to talk about love. Because every one of us wants to feel and experience love. Every one of us wants to feel cherished, to feel cared for, to feel respected, to feel honored, to feel supported, to feel valued, to feel appreciated. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel a level of connection. We all want to feel a sense of belonging. You know, and the thing is, we just don't want love in one area. We want love in every area. We want to be loved by our families. We want to be loved by our friends. We want to feel love in our community. We want to feel love at work. There's no area in life that we don't want to experience love. And I think the greatest area that we seek and desire to experience love is in our personal relationships, in an intimate relationship, in our whether it's couples or whether it's partners or whether it's in marriage, we all want to experience love. And the fact is, we shouldn't be overly surprised about that because we are told that we are created in the image and likeness of God, and God is love. So we are created in the image and likeness of love. Love is our nature. We are here to experience love, to share love, to express love, to embody love. The greatest commandment is to love God with all of our heart, mind, soul, and strength. The second greatest commandment is to love others as ourselves. Paul said, you can have anything. You can speak in the tongues of angels. You can have everything. But if you have not love, you have nothing. That love is the reason that we're here. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Love is what makes life fulfilling. And as much as we want love, as much as we know we're here to love, the fact is we aren't always so good at loving. Let me give you an example. So this woman goes to the doctor with her husband, and the husband gets a checkup, and then the woman calls, then the doctor calls the woman in the office and has a chat with her and says, ma'am, your husband's really not doing well. He's going to need your, if he is going to survive, he's going to need your help. He has got, terrible disease, and it's affected by his levels of stress. And she says, well, what can I do? Said, well, what you need to do, and you need to follow this or he'll die, and here's what you got to do. First, you got to cook him a really healthy breakfast every single morning, and you got to be really nice to him. You got to keep him in a good mood so his blood pressure doesn't go up. And then at lunch, you need to cook him a healthy, delicious lunch. And then in the afternoon, you need to massage his back and neck so he's not feeling stressed. And you got to rub his feet, at least 2 or 3 times a week for the circulation. And then for dinner, you got to cook him something healthy, but especially things that he really likes. Make things that he really likes. And make sure not to complain or argue. Don't give him any chores at all. So you can keep him as relaxed and calm and as stress-free as possible. So he and his wife are driving home, and the husband says, so what did the doctor say? And the wife said, he said you're going to die. And so you can see, So we all want love, but we're not always good at it. So how many people would acknowledge that you ever had a hard time loving someone you already love? Anybody have a hard time loving someone you love? How many people have ever had a difficult time and struggled in a relationship, either to find and start a relationship, maintain and keep a relationship, or heal and improve a relationship? Anyone ever struggle in that aspect of a relationship? And how many people would acknowledge that being in a healthy, fulfilling, nurturing relationship, being in a relationship can either bring the greatest joys in life or the greatest pain and frustration? Everybody understand and agree with that? We all want love. We are here to love, but we're not always so good at it. We all want great relationships, but we're not always great at it. Studies show that we have a divorce rate of over 50%. There's a woman who wrote a book. Her name is Dr. Susan Campbell, and the book is called The Couple's Journey. And in it, she shares results of some studies she does, and here's what she said, one of the reasons we don't do so well in relationships and don't understand how to love as well is because that all relationships have 5 predictable stages. And these stages, each one builds on each other, and most of us don't understand the stages. But she says by understanding them and being aware of them, we can navigate and move through them, move through the bumps that we will inevitably experience. And by going through them and understanding them, we will experience a deeper level and a more fulfilling experience of love in relationships. So here are the 5 stages of relationships, she says. The first one is the romance stage. Second is the power struggle stage. Third is the stability stage. Fourth is the commitment stage, and the 5th is the co-creation or bliss stage. So before we get to those 5 stages, let's ask ourselves a question. Why do we fall in love? And why do we fall in love with the people that we fall in love with? Is it just physical attraction? Is it just for our physical needs? Is it for companionship? Is it for procreation? If you really think about it, the nature of God and the nature of life and nature in the universe is towards expansion. It's towards growth. It's towards survival. It's towards adaptation and change. And so the reason, so nature has implanted a desire in all of us to fall in love, but not just to fall in love with anyone. And here's what she said. She says, nature makes sure that we all fall in love with the most incompatible person in the entire universe. There's more. And the person least capable of meeting our needs and most capable of pushing our buttons and forcing us out of our comfort zone so that we may adapt and learn and grow. Anybody see any truth in that at all? Anybody see any truth in that? You know, it sounds like bad news, but it's really, really good news. It's saying the people that we attract in our lives are there to stretch us, to expand our hearts in compassion and understanding and love. They're here for us to grow. Anybody ever heard of or read Raymond Moody's book, Dr. Raymond Moody, Life After Life? Anybody ever heard of it? So what he says is, it was a book, one of the first books on near-death experiences, and he said that when people report these near-death, they will like go through this tunnel with white light, and when they get to the end of the tunnel, they were asked 2 questions. The first one was, what did you learn? And the second one was, did you increase your capacity to love? Did you ever notice that we sometimes attract people who are like the opposite of us? Like sometimes people who are early morning people, are attracted to people who are late night people and not morning people. Sometimes people who are always on time attract people those who are never on time. Those who are homebodies sometimes like people who are out and about. We have organized people attracting people who just kind of fly by the seat of their pants. Do you ever notice that sometimes we attract, and that's no accident, because it's there to help us expand our capacity to love, to expand our capacity to be understanding and compassionate. In fact, the word heaven means expansion. And heaven is about expanding our faith, expanding our joy, expanding our love, expanding our understanding. Richard Rogers and my sister and I last fall went to a Phoenix Cardinals game. And there were, there were 60,000 people at a game. And he said something really interesting. He said, isn't it interesting just in life how we, that we don't just meet anybody, but we just meet the right people we're supposed to meet? You think that's a coincidence? In 7 billion people and 60,000 in a football game, we only end up meeting in life the people that we're supposed to meet. The people that are supposed to teach us, the people we're supposed to teach, the people that are supposed to help us. And the thing is, while this book and this study kind of just focused on people who push your buttons, stretch you, and kind of test you, that we also run into people who actually help us bring out the beauty in us that we don't see. People who support us and nurture us and help us bring forth and recognize our talents and have a full and more whole life. But the thing about it is, it's a package deal. And you can't get rid of that package deal, because some of the same people you love are the same people who tick you off, drive you crazy. And you can't get rid of it. And that's the most beautiful thing about life, is that that's what it is. The people in our lives, we're not drawing them by accident. They're there to teach and help our souls. Help our souls heal. Help our souls grow and help our souls expand into a deeper and more heavenly experience of God's love. So while today we're talking about relationships in the 5 stages, that these are really important for us to understand, because they help us teach us about love in general, how to experience love and how to understand love so we can have a deeper experience of it in all areas of our lives and in all of our relationships. So let's go through these 5 stages. The first one, the romantic stage. This is that intoxicating, kind of almost drugged, you're so giddy and sugary. They're so perfect and wonderful. Everything's amazing about them. It's just and all you can see is how good they are. You say things like, oh, he is the man of my dreams. She is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. He is the love of my life. It was love at first sight. I can't believe we have so much in common. She is everything that I want and so much more. He is perfect. And you can see how drugged we are. And but they say, and this is true physiologically, the brain actually releases certain chemicals, oxytocin and dopamine, that we do get in this euphoric state. That it makes a heart flutter, it puts fire in your loins. I mean, all kinds of things go wild for this love thing. It's a drug thing. And she says this, and I just love it. She says, love is like a drug, and the only difference between being in love and being on drugs is that being in love is legal. That's what she says. It's like being on a high that you only see the good that you want to see. You can't see anything else but the good. Now, here's the thing that she says that within 2 months to 2 years, this drug thing and the giddy phase wears off. And it wears off when you wake up one day and you look over and you think, oh my God, I married the wrong person. This is the most incompatible person in the world. We don't have anything in common. And I love what she says. She says, on that day when you feel that, that's when marriage really begins. That's when a relationship really, really begins. And she says, I love it. She says, the romantic phase is vital and important because if we knew the buttons they would press on us later, if we knew that up front, we'd run, she uses a very colorful language, we'd run in the opposite direction. And the fact is, if you really look at our culture, particularly with Hollywood movies, we kind of romanticize and sell that. Is when you get married and say, I do, we live happily ever after, the end. And the truth is, that really isn't the end. That is the beginning. We think that the honeymoon phase is supposed to last forever, and it's not supposed to last forever. Because it is supposed to end so something deeper can come into place. So the second phase of the power struggle happens when we no longer see them as perfect, but we swing to the complete other side where we can only see what's wrong with them. And we only recognize things that irritate us about them, and everything starts irritating. We don't like how they drive. We don't like the wrong way that they stack the dishwasher. We don't even like the way they chew or sip their coffee. Even their breathing annoys us. That's breathing. And what happens is this shift of going from googly all the way to the I can't stand them, it makes us panic and think, oh my God, this is wrong. This is an absolute mistake. Suddenly, because it's not the Hollywood, happily ever after, we think that something is actually flawed and wrong. And it's in this stage 2 things happen. It's either the beginning of the end, or it's the beginning of something that could be created that's even deeper and greater. The many couples get divorced and break up at this stage. So this is the stage where the illusion of what love is supposed to be about goes away and wears off, and it's replaced by feelings of disappointment, feelings of frustration, and even feelings of anger. And it is, again, focusing on the flaws. And what we try to do then in this power struggle is we try to change that person into the person we thought they were, or the person we think they should be. And that's where the struggle is. We try to force them into being something that they are not. And we buy into this idea that they're supposed to make me happy. They've forgotten that that's why they're in my life, is to make me happy. And we try to remind them of that truth and let them know how deeply they are failing and that they need to change. And we just can't get over how different they are from us. We can't get over it. And to the point that not only try to change them, but at levels, if that gets too frustrating, and it does, sometimes we might try to punish them in different ways, like withholding our love, by creating some distance. By allowing a level of disconnect, or trying to use power or manipulation or other means and methods. And what happens in this phase is that not only does it create a lot of pain and frustration, but what happens is we can get stuck in it for a long, long time. And one of the evidence of it is that we keep repeating the same arguments. We keep having the same issues coming up over and over again, some of the same painful patterns. And in this power struggle, the way we heal, the way we move to something greater, is all in one word, and that word is acceptance. Acceptance in understanding that our partner is different, and that is how God made them, and that's how they're supposed to be. Acceptance in terms of accepting that the fantasy of what we thought marriage should be is not real. Acceptance in terms of stop fighting against how it is, stop resisting it, and allow yourself to find peace in the moment. Of letting go of all that stuff releases a lot of the anger, the resistance. Acceptance is the thing that really helps us go deeper. It's about accepting ourselves and our own flaws, our own inconsistencies, our contradictions and dysfunctions, and accepting them with their flaws and inconsistencies and contradictions and dysfunctions. And the fact is, in relationships, no one person's ever to blame. It's just our inconsistencies are rubbing up against their inconsistencies. Our dysfunctions rubbing up against their dysfunctions. It's no one's fault. It's just a part of the dynamic. I love in AA, page 417, it says, acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. And so we need to ask ourselves a question. In our relationship, what is it that I'm really fighting against? In my relationship, what is it that I need to accept and make peace with? What is it about my partner that I need to accept? What is it about me I need to accept? What is it about our relationship I need to accept? Because to me, acceptance really brings a level of peace and a level of healing, and it opens the door for compassion and understanding. It opens the door for forgiveness, to forgive ourselves, because every one of us says some dumb things, does some stupid things. We do this all the time, and we need to be able to forgive. And acceptance is the first way to begin to open the door. Acceptance also creates space to allow the person to be who they are without trying to control them, and to create solutions that are in the benefit of each, and not trying to have one person sort of win or always get their way. And so acceptance really gives way to the next stage, which is stability. So instead of thinking they're perfect or thinking they're horrible, acceptance gets in the middle place where we can actually have balance, where there's mutual respect, where there's an honoring of difference, and it creates a foundation that allows us to do two things. Number one, helps resolve conflicts in a healthier way. And number two, we actually see them again for the first time and actually fall back in love with them. So instead of going to romanticized or to they're not good, you actually get to see them, all of them, and fall in love with them all over again and begin to honor the differences. So I've got a friend, Mike, and he is from New York, and he is one of the quietest, shyest, most biggest introverts I've ever met in my life, and he is an engineer. And so his wife is from the South. She is one of the loudest and most dynamic and creative. She's an actress. She's a nurse. And they are, as you see them and thinking, oh, Lord, how did you do that? And yet, they love and honor their differences. They give each other the freedom to be exactly who they are. And it is an amazing thing. I only met them 18 years into it, so I didn't see anything else. But they clearly found a great way to create stability, mutual respect, honoring each other's differences in a very strong and healthy relationship. And so stability then gives way and is needed for us to have commitment. And commitment is really about surrendering this idea that it's got to be perfect, accepting the differences, and getting to a place where you make a conscious choice to love that person. It's basically saying, I choose to love you. I see how you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, and I still choose to love you. I choose to learn with you. I choose to grow with you, and I choose to build something together with you. And it is from that place of making that choice to commit, do you know what happens? We create a sense of safety. So instead of thinking, oh, the next argument and it's over, there's a commitment, creates a level of safety to know no matter what happens, we're going to work it through. And then that safety gives way to allow us to be more real, to be more honest, more open, and more authentic. And the extent to which we are willing to be honest with our feelings and our desires, to be honest about our needs, to be more vulnerable and be who we are, that's the depth to which how much intimacy can really be experienced. So I ask you, in your life and in your relationship, in what area, are you willing to be a little bit more vulnerable and share your feelings? What desire, what need, what hurt are you needing to share that you know would be important for you to be vulnerable to help take your relationship to a deeper level of intimacy? And so that commitment phase really gives us the safety and freedom to go a little bit deeper and be more vulnerable and open. And then that actually helps the relationship to go deeper, to go to the fifth phase, which is the co-creation. That when you get to that level of creation, there is such a sense of team that you move beyond the relationship, and the relationship really becomes a gift to the world. That you create something together, whether it's family, whether it's a business, whether it's a charity, whatever project it is. There is something about coming together that not only allows the two of you individually to shine, but together that your relationship actually blesses and is a great example for everyone in your community and in your world. And one of the things she says about these 5 stages is that sometimes you move from stage to stage. Sometimes when you get so into whatever you're doing as a couple and put so much effort outside on the project, sometimes you forget to nurture your relationship and you end up back in the power struggle. But she said it's a good thing, because when you get back in the power struggle, you can get back to honoring the differences and finding resolution in a way that will create deeper intimacy and connection rather than eroding and causing more pain. That the more conscious we are, wherever we are in the stages, we actually can do it in a very healthy, conscious way to create more intimacy and more connection. And the healthier it is, the more we can co-create from a fuller place, and each can shine individually. And as a couple, you can actually do incredible and amazing things. Love isn't easy, and we don't always understand it. Let me give you an example. Some kids. Here's some examples of what kids say about falling in love. 10-year-old May says this: "No one is sure why it happens, but I heard it has something to do with how you smell. And that is why perfume and cologne are so popular today." Regina, age 10, "I'm not rushing into being in love. I am finding the 4th grade hard enough by itself." Angie, 10 years old, "Most men are brainless, so you might have to try out more than once to find a live one." What are her parents telling her? Last one by Dave, 8 years old. "Love will find you, even if you're trying to hide from it. I've been trying to hide from it since I was 5 years old. But the girls keep finding me." Go Dave. Anyway, and it sounds silly. While those kids are confused, sometimes as adults we can be confused about relationships and how a relationship works. You know, it might sound crude that there are stages of love and stages of relationships, but when you think about it, it makes sense. Anybody ever heard of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief? I mean, so what is it? Is it denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance? Well, in the same way, building a team, building a family, building a company, everything has a process. Well, so does love. We think that love is a one-time thing, you hit it and it's all good. It is always a learning process and experience that keeps going and growing. And we move from these stages, and we need to move from them in a conscious way to get all we can. Every person we attract in our life, especially the most intimate, is there for our soul's growth. It is no accident. They're there to help us grow. And when we follow these different stages and do the work, it will bring us to levels of joy and fulfillment beyond our imagination. Whatever stage you are in your love, keep working at it. Keep conscious. Keep willing to do the work, to do the acceptance, to make the choice, to be more vulnerable, to allow yourself to go deeper. Because we are here to love. We are here to love. So I invite you to keep enjoying, keep learning, and keep moving forward on your journey of love. God bless you all. With We Are Walking in the Light.
Joy of
Hey, kiddo. All right, welcome Reverend Tina and the kids. Reverend Tina.
Well, they've been, we had birthday Sunday today, too. And they learned about meditation and the power of imagination and lots of wonderful things. And we've got a few that would like to share.
We got a
Got
hand
one
up
with a
over
hand up
there.
over here, so I'm gonna go ahead
Very
and go first.
enthusiastic. I love that.
My sister has a birthday in June, but she's not in my class.
Okay. Well, tell your sister we said happy birthday.
My birthday is
And did she say January? I love that, giving us a lot of notice. We appreciate that. Well, thank you, Olivia. Okay.
And I think we've got a few here that want to share.
we learned about what I am is. I am the light of God.
All right, that's very cool.
I learned that you have a third eye, but you can't see it on the outside because it's your imagination.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
I learned that today we can share our fears with others.
That's very cool. All right, cool. All right.
That was awesome.
Cool, gang. That was really good. We loved it. All right, so gang, we are excited to see you, and we want to do a little blessing for you. You ready to receive it? All right. Here we go. Together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are. Let's hear it for our kids. Thanks so much. Woo! All right. So let's join the kids as they lead us in our prayer of protection. Julia and Emery, go ahead.
The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All right, let's hear it for our kids one more time. Thank you so much. So our graduating seniors will be joining me in the foyer. Let's come out and congratulate them. And let's all rise now as we close with our song of peace. Good job.
Let there be peace on earth and let begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy as well. To take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me.
God bless everybody. Have a great day and a wonderful week.